Good evening, everyone. My name is Tarun Gandhi, and today's story in the bedtime story series is Thumbelina. One day, a kind old woman who enjoyed gardening received a special shimmering seed from a fairy. The fairy told her to plant it with love and care, promising that something magical would grow. The old woman did just that. She planted the seed in a small flower pot, watered it with love, and sang lullabies to it every night. In just a few days, a lovely, delicate flower sprouted. But it wasn't like any flower the old woman had ever seen. It had petals as soft as silk and a sweet fragrance that filled the air. As the old woman admired the flower, she noticed a tiny movement among the petals. To her amazement, a tiny girl no taller than her thumb emerged from the flower. The old woman named her Thumbelina. Thumbelina's new home was among the petals of the magical flower. She spent her days tending to the petals and exploring the miniatures world that surrounded her. She befriended insects and made tiny beds out of rose petals where she would rest her head at night. But one night, as Thumbelina was sleeping peacefully in her petal bed, she was awakened by soft, melodic voices of a group of field mice who had discovered her flower. Delighted by the delicate and beautiful Thumbelina, they decided to take her to the cozy mouse hole. Kind hearted and eager for adventure, she agreed to go with them. The mice gave her a small bed of her own and little leaf for a blanket. They shared their food and stories with her, and she became a part of their mouse family. As winter approached, Thumbelina's tiny world grew colder and more challenging. She wore a tulip petal coat to stay warm and helped with mouse household chores. One day, as Thumbelina was gathering crumbs from the kitchen, she heard a tiny, mournful voice coming from the cold, snow-covered ground. She followed the voice and discovered a small, wounded swallow. The swallow was unable to fly and was close to freezing. With great compassion, Thumbelina brought the swallow inside and cared for it, nursing it back to health. The two became fast friends and shared stories of their adventure and dreams. The swallow longed to return to the skies, and Thumbelina wished to explore the world beyond the mouse hole. They planned to help each other whenever in need, and when spring arrived, the swallow's wing healed. Thumbelina tearfully bid her friends farewell, watching it soar into the sky. Thumbelina felt increasingly lonely and yearned for adventure. One night, while gazing at the moon by the window, she heard a soft, enchanting song sung by a group of frogs from the nearby pond. Curious about the song sung by frogs in the nearby pond, Thumbelina decided to visit them. The frogs were delighted and invited her to dance to their enchanting music. Thumbelina trilled and leaped, feeling the joy of the music fill her heart. The frogs introduced her to their king, a kind and gentle frog who was captivated by Thumbelina's beauty and grace. He asked for her hand in marriage, and Thumbelina, too touched by the offer, felt that her heart belonged to the open skies and the wide world beyond. One night, Thumbelina heard her friend, the swallow, chirping and sharing stories of its travel. Wanting adventure, she decided not to marry the frog king and planned her escape with the swallow's help. In the middle of the night, while the frog king and his subject slept, Thumbelina climbed onto the swallow's back. With a strong flap of its wings, they soared into the moonlight sky, leaving the frog kingdom behind. While exploring the garden, Thumbelina met a handsome young prince, nearly her size, enchanted by a fairy spell. When their eyes met, they knew they had found true love. The prince and Thumbelina were wed in a grand ceremony, surrounded by the blossoms and the whispering leaves of the garden. They made their home among the flowers, where they lived happily ever after, sharing their dreams and their love. So this was today's story, Thumbelina. Thank you so much for watching and listening. May God bless you all, and I will come up with another story tomorrow. Till then, goodbye, good night, and Shabakher, and Radhe Radhe. Stay blessed, stay chokers. Good night.